Okay, so we've talked a lot about documents, how MetaStore helps manage those documents and display them, helps users find them. I'd like to talk a little bit about system administration. MetaStore is a cloud-based content management system that gives users the ability to build their own file cabinets, administer users, check audit trails, and a variety of other system admin features. I'd like to give you a quick tour of how the system can be set up, how users can be provisioned, and talk a little bit more about security. And we'll take a look at an audit trail. So authorized users are able to access the MetaStore Administration console via the web. This access is audited like many other functions in the system. So as a system admin, when I log in, everything I do inside of here is added to an audit trail. To begin, I can create my own virtual filing cabinets. These are called applications inside MetaStore. I could create a new one from scratch, or I could modify an existing one, such as HR. If I wanted to add fields, I could do that. Just simply type in the name of the field, choose a data type. These are pre-configured data types from a drop-down list. Choose a length for the field, set various application flags which influence the behavior of the field, such as whether or not it's required. If it's a number field, do I want to preserve leading zeros? Things of that nature. When I'm ready, I just click Add, and once I save, the information that I've updated is now viewable to users of the application. We also have the ability to set doc level security. I used this example when we were discussing retrievals. So I'm able to set up a rule such that members of a particular group are prevented from accessing certain kinds of documents. I could base that rule on any of the document index criteria. One typical example is the use of a doc type. So I could say that if the doc type is equal to, let's say, a termination form, that value is inaccessible to a discrete set of users. So I could choose a group from the list and effectively create a rule that instantly applies to all documents in inventory. Another example would be using the employee ID. So if I had managerial groups that were divided up by department, and each one of those departments had a discrete range of employee IDs, I could enter those data values for that manager's employees so that he or she could only access the documents for employees that they manage. So this is a different kind of rule where we set the security type as accessible. So that's just an example of some of the things you can do via the web from an application management standpoint. Another thing you can do is perform user administration. So in the system, I could search for users that are in the system. I can modify their security. I can do password resets. I can modify their group membership. I can change their profile. Now, profiles are interesting because it gives me very granular control over what a user can do once they log in. So for example, we saw a human resources application which allowed me to perform a search. I could do an export, I could print, I could upload new files if I wanted to. Well, what if I wanted to change this user's privileges so that they only had the ability to perform a search and display a document? I could take away all their other privileges and within this HR application give them read-only access. So that's one way to control access to the system. We call this functional level security. I can also, if, for example, I don't want the user to have any privileges in a particular app, such as the digital mailroom here, I could remove all their privileges. What this means is that when the user logs into the system, they won't see the digital mailroom. They'll only see those file cabinets that they're supposed to have access to. In most cases, we control security based on group membership. So, in fact, we wouldn't be setting permissions at a user level at all, but instead we would set up a group, usually by function, and we would give those groups names such as HR clerks, and then within that, we would define discrete functions that the user could perform. Once those groups are set up, users are then added to the groups as needed, so that as they log into the system, they inherit all of the security characteristics for that group. That's typically how security is set up. The final thing I'd like to show you is from an auditing perspective. So all of the activities are audited. These are in a SQL database table, which we can use to mine data to detect user patterns and things of that nature. We also have the ability to choose various events. So if I want to see the query behavior, I could certainly focus in on that, or if I just want to see who's been logging in, that sort of thing, I can really drill down into a particular kind of event. You can also search by a timestamp. If I don't specify any search criteria, you'll see that, as I said earlier, even my activity as an admin, these settings that I changed, all of those steps that I performed earlier were tracked and audited. This information can be exported to a CSV file for compliance reasons. So if I'm in the department responsible for oversight of a cloud-based application, I can have this information on demand, or working with MetaSource, I could have it delivered on a regular basis. So I just wanted to give you a flavor at a high level for some of the things that are possible via web-based administration. There's many more features available in this application. In the interest of time, I won't go into those, but we invite any questions that you might have, and we're anxious to talk more about what we can do with MetaStor. Thank you.